Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
Coach to the person and not the situation. Recently, I was working with a client, and the client was expressing some frustration with an employee. During our conversation, he stated he was very frustrated by what the employee was doing. He began to share 2 or 3 situations where the employee was doing things incorrectly. And I said, at its foundation, what do you think the employee needs to improve? He immediately said attitude and teamwork. I then asked a question, how are you currently coaching to those 2 areas? His response was very interesting as he stated to me, this is what he's doing right now. I somewhat challenged his thought premise by saying, I think you're reacting to a situation versus proactively cultivating a positive attitude and sense of teamwork. He said, what do you mean? I said, you're bringing up situations and you're responding as if you were almost triggered by these events. He said, I think I am triggered by these events. I then shared, I'm wondering if you are reacting to the situations and coaching to the situation, and it's causing the defensiveness even further with your employee. My client immediately thought to himself, this is interesting because that's exactly what's happening. I said, how are you having conversations around attitude and teamwork outside of situations? He said, what's the difference? I said, the difference is you are coaching to a situation. You are reacting to something that's occurred. So somebody is probably feeling put on the spot or is in a very defensive mode, almost defending what they did right or wrong in their mind. And I'm wondering if that's coming at the expense of a really good, authentic, thoughtful, proactive conversation that could occur to develop a positive attitude and teamwork. He said, how can I go about doing that? I said, well, first of all, have conversations on a regular basis that focus on those 2 areas. Number 2, have learning projects such as having this employee come in every single week with something that they did positive, above and beyond the call of duty, that exemplified a positive attitude and teamwork. Now you're creating positive situations and cultivating the experience and behaviors that the employee needs to adopt. I think a critical component we all need to be aware of is that we tend to be very triggered by what we see wrong or what we want to correct. Then we call it coaching. I would call that situational reaction. I think we have to be very proactive and focused outside of situations so our coaching stands on its own versus supporting a corrective action that can really be masked or perceived as being delivered as constructive feedback. Coaching is a very proactive, thoughtful, strength-based, question-based approach that drives positive change in the good things that our people do, as well as those areas where they have opportunities to improve. If we are reacting to a situation, we will typically react to things that we see that are wrong and need to be corrected. Therefore, the employee will be triggered typically to become defensive and be in a mode of, I hope I'm not in trouble, and not really thoughtfully engage in the process to truly improve. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21 day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.